homework time. Yes, here we go. Let's start by jotting our name down at the top of the paper. I'll write my name and you go ahead and write yours. And let's take a moment and do things right. Put down today's date. I'll write today, you write the actual date. How's that? Great. Here are our instructions for number 1. Circle any fractions that are equivalent to a whole number. Record the whole number below the fraction. Well, the other instructions should come first. What we're going to be doing is counting by 1/4, starting at 0/4, stopping at 6/4, and then we'll circle ones that are equivalent to a whole number. And they started this one here for us. I didn't circle that, they did it. So 0/4 is equal to 0, okay, which is a whole number. Then 1/4, what comes next? Yeah, we know this. We were doing this like when we first started fractions, right? 2/4, not a whole number. 3/4, not a whole number. 4/4, yes, that's a whole number, right? So let's circle it. 4/4 is equal to 1 whole. And then we have 5/4 and 6/4 where we are instructed to stop. Now we'll be going by 6, starting at 0/6 and stopping at 14/6. All right, so start off with 0/6. And indeed, we should circle that, right? Just as we saw up above with 0/4, that is 0. And then 1/6, 2/6, 3/6, 4/6, 5/6, 6/6. That one jumps out at you, right? That's one to circle. It's equal to 1 whole. You have 6 out of 6 pieces. You have the whole thing. 7/6, 8/6, 9/6, 10/6, 11/6, 12/6, and there we want to pause for a moment. You might have caught it right away, maybe not, but hey, what's 12 divided by 6? It's 2, right? This is 2 wholes. So the way you think is you have 6 pieces out of 6, and another 6 out of 6, you have 12/6. You have 2 whole pizzas there, all right? So that is equal to 2, and if you notice, you're skip counting here, like 0, 6, 12, 3 wholes would be, what, 6, 12, 18. But fortunately for us, and for the space we have on the paper, we are not going so high. Oh, sorry, 13, erase, 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 erase. Okay, whoops. After 12 comes 13. Yeah, I know how to count. And then 14/6. I was so hurried to get done here. There we go. All right, let's go on. That was pretty easy, right? Let's see what's next. 2, man, all we have to do is draw parentheses to show how to make ones in the following number sentence. So we have this mind and eye-boggling miasma of 1/3 that adds up to 4. Okay, so how many thirds would there be, by the way? Just think like thirds to make 4. 1, 2, 3 make 1. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So there are 12 here. We don't have to count them. We just know that. So that means every 3/3 makes 1 whole. And they squished all this together, so we have to like draw parentheses very carefully. So look, here's 3/3, right? That's 1. And then that's going to be plus. Notice I'm not putting this plus sign in the parentheses because it's these 3 grouped together plus the next 3 grouped together. Oh, got to squeeze it in. All right, and there. And there's another 3. Pretty simple, right? And when you do this, the thing actually does not make your eyes go blind and blurry and bloodshot and the other B words. But look at that. Hey, that's it. That's number 2. Let's go on. Well, you know, this homework was getting a little too easy, so I think they decided to spice it up for us a little here. We're going to multiply as shown below and draw a number line to support our answer. I think it's best to draw a number line first here because we're looking at 6 times 1/3. And so we're going to say, oh, okay, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6/3. Okay, so I'm saying, okay, if I have 3/3 expressed as 3 times 1/3, then that's 1 whole. And then 3/3 expressed again as 3 times 1/3. That's another 1 whole, so 1, 2. And so that is where this 6 times 1/3 we're starting with, right? This step right here is a little difficult to get to without really puzzling it out, and the number line helps you to do that. So let's go ahead and do B here and see how things turn out. Draw ourselves a nice, generous number line. And we'll put arrows at either end because it is a number line. And we know we're going to start at 0, right? Okay, now think, we're going by 1/2, and we have 10 of them. Okay, so let's say here's 1. If I put a dot in the middle here, as they did up there, right? Okay, what's that? Okay, so what I just did is that's 1/2 and 1/2. So 1/2 2 times. So it's 2 times 1/2. Told you this was a little weird. And now, basically, I can just keep repeating that until I've used. So I'm going to go up to 2, right? Right. Jumping over there. And again, so 2/2 expressed as 2 times 1/2. So this is 1. This is 1. 2 times 1/2 is 2/2, which equals 1. 2 times 1/2 is 2/2, which equals 1. So 1, 2. That's all I'm doing is counting here. And so how many halves have I used up? Because I'm doing 10 times. I've done 2, 4. So we can see where this is going now, right? It'll be 6, 8, 10 halves. Okay, so we have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 halves. And so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so again, this is 2 times 1/2, and 2 times 1/2, and 2 times 1/2, because all these are equal to 1. 2/2 is 1, 2/2 is 1, 2/2 is 1, 2/2 is 1. Okay, got it. All right, so now what we're doing is we're saying, hey, okay, what does all this mean? I don't know, move to another country or something. Move to another planet is what it means. What it means is that 10 times 1/2. All right, look at what we did. How many times did we have 2/2? We had 2/2 5 times. Each of these expressions here is equal to 2/2. 2/2, 2/2, 2/2, 2/2, 2/2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times we have 2/2. So what we're writing here is 5 times 2/2. I warned you, it's weird. And so what does that work out to be? Well, look right here. It works out to be 5. And you're saying, what? Why is it 5? Because I just did 5 times 2. No, you did 5 times 2 halves. So think of it this way. This 2/2 is equal to 1, right? 5 times 1 is 5. If I said 5 times 1 is 5, you would not wonder at all. You'd say, sure, yeah, that's right. And so that indeed is the answer. We could do an intermediate step here and say it's 10 halves, and 10 divided by 2 is 5. All right, but not needed. This one's a little weird, all right? Hey, I don't write this stuff. I just do it like you. We're in the same boat, kid. All right, so here's the number line for 8 times 1/4. All right, number line, we're going to start at 0. Where are we headed? Nobody knows. All right, but I do know I'm going to get to 1, right? And I want to mark fourths on here. So how many dots am I going to put on the line to make 4 equal sections? Well, we could do it the way we've often done it and put 1 in the middle and then bisect each of those halves. And now we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, you see? And so when we hop over here, what are we doing? We're saying, well, we have 1/4 4 times. And if you look at that expression, 4 times 1/4, you will quickly see that it is indeed equal to 1. It's 4/4. 4/4 is equal to 1. And so now we can just continue. And they did the dots in their example all the way across, but hey, I got things to do, yeah. I'm not drawing those dots. Oh, just kidding. But no, I'm not going to anyway. So 1, 2, 3, and there we go. And so now this is again 4 times 1/4. And look where we are already. How many 1/4 have we used up? 4, 8, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, look at that. And I did put the dots in. I figured I'd be a good guy. All right, good. So now when we look at this in our wackadoodle equation, we're saying, hey, 8 times 1/4, that's what we just did. I got 4 problems, y'all, sorry. Equals what? Well, look at what we did. How many times did we use 4/4? 1, 2, right? So we did 4/4 2 times. 2 times 4/4. And what does that, oh my goodness, I keep doing that with the 4s. Fix it, man. All right. So what does that equal? Well, it would be 8/4, but we know what it actually works out to be because it's 2, isn't it? And again, if you think of this as 2 times a value of 1 expressed as 4/4, 2 times 1 is 2. That's not such a crazy thing to say, is it? Yeah. Yeah. All right, moving on. Well, as if that weren't wackadoodle enough, it's going to get a little more interesting at this point. Our instructions here for number 4 are to multiply as shown below. So it's the same thing, but with a difference. In that those ones we did in number 3, those came out to be even whole numbers, or not to say even, but just whole numbers, I mean. Whole numbers, and here we're going to have mixed numbers. Okay, so again, let's do them in the same manner. When we look at this one, it says 7 copies of 1/3. What it's saying is 7 times 1/3. Like you put 1/3 on the copier, I guess, and hit start. You know, it made 7 copies of that 1/3. Go figure. All right, so look, of the 7, we're doing 3, 3, and 1 to add up to 7. 3 plus 3 plus 1 is 7. So there's 3/3, which equals 1 whole, another 3/3, which adds up to 2, and then 1 more third. So the final answer here, you see, what we did 3/3 twice, right? That's where this 2 times 3/3 comes from. We did 3/3 twice, and then there was 1 more third to make the 7th third. And so that gives us, this is 2 times 3/3 is the same as 2 times 1, so it's 2, plus this 1/3 is 2 1/3. Yeah, let's do that then. All right, so let's draw ourselves a happy little number line. 7 copies of 1/4 is the name of the game. Put arrows at either end. And let's just mark the 0 and start from there and come what may. All right, well, we know we'll be getting at least to 1, right? And we did 1 before with fourths, so we know we can place our dots here along the line to mark our fourths. And so how many fourths is that to get to 1? Well, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 fourths, of course. And so what we did 1/4 4 times. So that's 4 times 1/4. Oh, look. We only have 7 copies of 1/4 we're making on that copier machine in the great heavenly skies. And so we aren't even going to make it to 2, are we? I'll mark 2, but we're not going to make it there. Because look, I'll mark out my fourths. And now from the 7/4, how many more do I have to go? Well, it's 1, 2, 3. Okay, and you could do 1 and 1 and 1, but hey, I don't feel like it. So I'm going to do this, which is what? Well, I could write it this way. I could write that it's 3 times 1/4, which we know, of course, is what? 3/4. So our final answer here will be 1. We got to 1 and 3/4. Yeah. All right. So what we were doing to start with, let's do it mathematically now. We said, because we already figured out the answer, we're just going to do the math now, that it was 7 times 1/4, right? And what did we do here? Let's start here. We did 4/4 1 time. So 1 time we did 4/4. That's this first arrow. Okay, and I know it says 4 times 1/4. That's 4/4, right? How many times did we do that? We did it 1 time. That's why it's 1 times 4/4. Yeah. And then plus what? Another 3/4. So there, plus 3/4. And so what does that equal? Well, 1 times 4/4 is the same as 1 times 1, which we know is 1. And with that, we have the 3/4. And so together it is 1 and 3/4. Yeah, I think we have a C and D here on number 4. Let's go take a look. Well, hey, actually it's C, D, and E. Bonus. All right, so 11 groups of 1/5 is the same as saying 7 copies or 7 times or 11 times or whatever. It's just another way of expressing the same thing. They just want you to see that there's different ways of talking about the same thing here. So 11 groups of 1/5. Let's make ourselves a pretty little number line and put arrows on either end. Beautiful. And let's just jump right in. Like, here's our 0, and we know we'll be making it at least to 1. And so let's mark fifths in here. I need to put 4 dots evenly spaced here. 2, 3, 4 dots will give me 5 equal parts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Great. So when I go this first leap from 0 to 1, I'm doing 5 times 1/5. Okay, and I'm looking for 11 1/5s. And so that's 5 of them right there. I can make it to 2, can't I? Because that would be another 5. That would be 10. So there's 2. 1, 2, 3, 4 dots in between. And so we'll do another little hop and a skip and a jumpity. And that's another 5 times 1/5. And now I'm going to mark 3. We know we're not going to make it there because we'd need 15, right? And I'll mark all 4 of these dots here to make fifths. But still, we've done 5 of them, so that makes 10, and we're only looking for 11, so just one more. Zippity-doo, right there, a little one, 1/5. All right, so what did we do here? Well, ultimately, what we started with was saying, hey, what is simply 11 times 1/5? And how many times did we do 5/5? That's what these are, right? 5 times 1/5 is 5/5 equal to 1. How many times did we do 5/5? Well, 2 times. 2 times we racked up a 5/5. And then we had what here? Yeah, just one more fifth plus 1/5. And so what happens with that is 5/5 is equal to 1, right? So 2 times 1 is 2. And then we have the 1/5. So our final answer, of course, is 2 and 1/5. Yeah! All right, so now, on this one, we're doing 7 times 1/2. Just getting lots of practice here. Oh, lots of practice. All right, arrows at either end, starting at 0. We're pretty confident we're going to make it at least to 1. And we're only looking at halves. So when we make it a little skip-it, hop-it, jumpity, we did 1/2 2 times, right? 1/2, 2 halves. Can we go another one? We're going up to 7. Yep, so that's 2. And now let's do another 2. Right there. 2 times 1/2. Okay, so 2, 4. We're up to. We need 7. So we're doing. We'll go to, see if we can go to 3. Yep, we sure can. That's 2 times 1/2 again. Now it's 2, 4, 6. We just need one more half. So look, I can mark 4 here. I forgot this dot. And I can put this dot here. I only need one more half, so I'm just going this little zippy-da there to 1/2. So what were we doing originally? We were doing 7 times 1/2. Now, how many times did we do this 2 times 1/2, which is equal to 2 halves, right? So how many times did we do 2 halves? 1, 2, 3 times we did 2 halves. So it's 3 times we jumped 2 halves on that number line. And then we also had this one more loose cannon of a 1/2 here. Now remember, 3 times 2 halves, don't do all the math. 2 halves is equal to 1. What's 3 times 1? It's 3. And then we still have this 1/2 to add in, right? So the final answer is 3 and 1/2. Whoa. All right, let's try 9 times 1/5. Make ourselves a fine looking number line with arrows at either end. Mark 0. Okay, so now we're doing fifths. So I'm going to leave just a little more space here. Let's make 1 out here. I know to make fifths, to make 5 partitions, I can place 4 dots within these parameters. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fifths. So when I make the leap there are 5 times I've cruised over 1/5. Now I'm going to 9 of these, so I can't do another 5 all the way to 2, right? That would be 10. I'm only going up to 9 of them. So, but I'll place all the dots, 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's how many I'm going, right? Because I have 5, I'm looking for 9, so I'm going to go another 4 dots to right there. Now, how many fifths is that? Well, there are 4 of them, 4 fifths. Yeah, so let's write out the equation for this bad boy. We are doing 9 times 1/5. And how many times did we do this 5 fifths here? We did it once. So one time we did 5 fifths. And what's the other little jumpity we did? Another 4 fifths. Now, 1 times 5 fifths is the same as saying 1 times 1, right? Well, what's that? It's 1. And we could do this step in our head because we have enough practice now. 1 and what? 4 fifths. All right. Beautiful. Woo! I wish I was saying homework time is done, but I think there's one more to do, or maybe 2. Let's go peek. Just peek. Okay, so what's going on? Hold on. What happened? Oh, that was the last one? Oh, we are done. Okay, so I'll see you again next time. It's, once again, what's going on? Homework time. Bye.